If you watched my last video, why I love Super Sentai, first of all, thank you. I needed that validation. Secondly, I kind of went off track and completely forgot some of the aspects I really love about the series. But that's why I'm here today. I decided to do a ranking video. I'm going to go through all of the suits of every season, spanning from 1975 to this year of 2024. That's a lot of suits. But before we get into it, I wanted to do a quick disclaimer. I did not watch all of Super Sentai, just mostly stuff from the 90s and onwards. But that doesn't mean I don't have a set of eyes. And with the new season Boom Boonja's 6 Ranger being announced, I think it's actually time to look through all of the suits leading up to the new 6 Ranger. So come with me as I rank all 48 teams. That's right, 48 teams. And each team has a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 12 Rangers. So enough wasting time. Let's eat steak, you cool guys. Our first team that we're looking at is Go Ranger. This is the first season of the whole series. And if you look at the suits, instead of spandex, they're wearing what I can describe as race suits. They have numbers on their helmets and numbered sashes on their chest that form a V for 5. They also have giant S's on their belt buckles. They also have round buggy visors that are perforated. This is what I imagine Sentai to be. There's nothing really much I can say about it. My favorite Ranger is the Red Ranger, and I give this an A ranking. Pretty good start. Next team that we're looking at is Jack. Jack is a card-based team, where 4 of the Rangers have card suits on their helmets. Now the 5th Ranger, his name is Big One. And he definitely is a big one. Have a look at him. Look at his style, he's just so out there. This is the first White Ranger of the series, and he really makes his mark. Look at him, he is so cool. He makes me want to watch the season, just him alone. And I'm going to give this one an S ranking. I find this season interesting and I actually want to watch it. And the suits look really cool. Battle Fever J. Yeah, Battle Fever J is right. It makes me feel like I'm battling with a fever dream. Okay, that was a little bit harsh. Some aspects of this season is pretty cool, like how each ranger represents a country. We got Japan, France, Cossack, Kenya, and oh god. No. Ah! Ah! Oh shit! What the fuck is that thing? It has bug eyes! I finally understand Lenny Kravitz's song about the American woman. All the male rangers look like they're wearing pajamas. Miss America looks like she's wearing a swimsuit and a wig on top of her helmet. It's cool that Battle Cossack is orange, because we don't really have many orange rangers. But there's barely any uniformity. Battle Japan and France, they have something going on there, but everyone else seems like they're doing their own thing. Battle Kenya is the only guy who looks decent. And I appreciate the scarves. My favourite ranger out of the lot is Battle Kenya, and I have to give this one an F. I'm sorry, it's just terrible. Denshi Sentai Denzi Man. Now, if last season looks like they were wearing pajamas, this season they really look like they're about to go nap-nap. They do look comfortable, but I'm looking for a ranger suit and not bedwear. We still have numbered sashes on their front and some scarves. But the only interesting part about this is the helmets. They have a little window that has all the technology in there, just to see how the helmet works. Other than that, it's pretty bland. Nothing to write home about. I don't have a favourite out of the lot of them, because they all look the same. So I guess I'll just put it into D. D for Denzi Man. Taiyo Sentai Sun Falcon. Before we continue, I just want to say, I'm Australian. So if I mess up on any Japanese words, please don't yell at me. I can barely talk English as it is, let alone another language. Sun Falcon's going to be a quick one, because there's only 3 of them in a team. This season is a animal themed one, but with a militaristic twist on it. A lot of early seasons have like a militaristic bend to it, like they're a special task force funded by the government. Which is actually pretty cool, because growing up with Power Rangers, most, if not all of the powers derive from magic. Okay, let's make it quick. Pajamas, this time with V's on it, and their helmets have animals on them. Eagle, shark, and panther. These early seasons don't really have much, except for maybe the helmet. These helmets are pretty cool. Their mouthpieces are flat. Some people like to get into the course of like whether or not they like flat mouthpieces or the molded mouths. Either way, I don't really fuss with that. As long as it looks good with the helmet, I'm fine. But if I have to choose, I'd like flats better. All in all, these suits look decent. They really need to get out of their pajamas. My favorite is the Red Ranger, and I give this a C. Dai Sentai Goggle 5. Forgot to mention in the Sun Falcon section that their helmets have like this gold trim around the visor. Anyway, they continue that in this season. These are some stylish helmets. Although the Red Ranger's helmet has this bar down the middle of the visor, I just thought, like, how does that look inside the helmet? Does that ruin your perception, or would you focus on it until your eyes go crossed? The chest design is kind of weird. They look like lamps. I like how the crests on the helmet have gems. And also their belt buckles have like this diamond design. The logo has a G and V on it for Goggle 5. There's barely any difference between the ranges, so I guess my favorite one would be yellow. And I give this one a C ranking. Kagaku Sentai Dynaman. This season was going to be a baseball-themed team. It was going to be called Baseball Sentai V Liga. And it shows with the uniforms. The helmets look like baseball helmets with the brims. And the tops look like baseball shirts. This is the first season with actual spandex pants as well. But instead of baseball, they went with Science Squadron Dynaman. I don't really have a favorite because it's very uniform. But for argument's sake, let's just say Red Ranger. All in all, it's a great design, but this is a design for a baseball team, not a science team. So I'm going to give it a B for baseball. Chodenchi Bioman. This team looks like every flea market $2 store robot. You know the one. But in a good way. They probably started the design trend. I like the bulbed head look of the helmets and the wiring on the chest. It really gives off that cybernetically enhanced soldier look. Unfortunately, it doesn't really change anything else. Everyone looks the same, and you can't really tell the difference between anyone. This one's... it's a good look, but it's just middle of the road. For argument's sake, I'm gonna say my favorite one's the blue one, and I'm gonna give this one a D. These early season costumes are good, but none of them have really grabbed me yet. Hopefully it'll pick up soon. Dengeki Sentai Changeman. Now these helmets are really cool. They actually have a bit of design to them, and the crest up top represents their mythical creature. So you got yourself the Pegasus, mermaid, dragon. But the fun stops there. Because for some reason, the design on the chest makes it look like they're wearing sports bras. And Change Mermaid? She has the worst one. All they did was put a pink outline to make it look like the suit. And her little crest on her helmet? That's supposed to be a mermaid. But it looks like a whale blowing water out of its blowhole. Change Phoenix's uniform looks like she's wearing a workout onesie. For me, the only good thing I could look at it is the helmets. So I guess for that, my favorite Ranger would be the Black Ranger. And I'll give this one a D. Choshinsei Flashman. The helmets look like a combination of Bioman and Dynaman. I like the black trim on the uniforms. They have cool crystals on their helmets, so that's an interesting look. But really, that's barely anything, really. Green Ranger's my favorite ranger. I'm gonna give this a B, so it's a middle of the road. Hikari Sentai Mask Man. This one's another bland one. Like, it's just colored spandex, but with a V and a 5 in the middle of the chest, which I like. The helmets look cool, but I don't know about the extra black bit on top of the forehead. Like, is that an extra visor? If so, how does that work? The Black Ranger doesn't even have one. I like how the Yellow Ranger has earrings, but that's pretty much it. This one doesn't have any source to it. All I like is the helmets. My favorite one is the Yellow Ranger, and I'm just gonna put this in D. There's nothing to it, and let's just move on. Choju Sentai Live Man. We have more V's on the chest, but this time they have animals in the middle of them. The white outlines on the animals actually look really good, but the main problem I have is with the lion. How come all the other rangers have the white outline design, which looks cool, but then the lion just has this really weird MS Paint kind of tacked on lion head? It just breaks up the uniform. If you look at the helmets, they're molded to the animal that they represent. This season is the first one to have a female Blue Ranger, and first to have the Black and Green Rangers in the core team. My favorite Ranger is the blue one, and I give this one an A ranking. They're actually really good designs, besides the yellow one. Kosoku Sentai Turbo Rangers. Another car Sentai. These suits are kind of boring. You got the car grills on the helmets and the wheels on the sides, but other than that, it's pretty bland. The design of the chest looks like a bull head. Might be representing seat belts. I don't know. This one's kind of boring. I have no interest in it. My favorite one is either the black or blue one. I don't know. And let's just put it in the C category. Moving on. GQ Sentai 5-Man. 12 minutes in and we're about to kick into high gear. Seasons from the 1990s and onwards, I am all in. So let's look at the season from my birth year, 1990. First of all, there's so many V's! Look at all those V's! 5-Man is about a team of 5 siblings who are also school teachers. They brought back the numbered stripes, but they're all over the visors, which is kind of confusing. Like, again, when you look through the visor, would you see the lines? And would that be distracting? Like, would that block your point of view? They also brought back crests on the helmet. This time the crests represent the subjects that they teach. The Yellow Ranger has a music note because she's a music teacher. The Red Ranger has an atom on his helmet because he's the science teacher. And the Black Ranger has some kanji on his helmet because he's the Japanese language teacher. They also brought back the earrings, which the Yellow and Pink Ranger have. This is a good start to the 90s. My favorite is the Yellow Ranger, and I give this a B ranking. Eat steak, cool guy! Eat steak, cool guy! Eat steak, cool guy! It's Chojin Sentai Jetman! Now I'm gonna try not to be biased with this one because Jetman's one of my favorite Sentais. But how could you not? Jetman has everything! They have cool shoulder pads. Their helmets match their code names. So Red Hawk, Blue Swallow, White Swan, Black Condor, and Yellow Owl. So they have underarm wings so they can glide. Black Condor is my favorite. Just he's the coolest dude ever. I feel like I could go on and on about Jetman itself. But just for time, I'm just gonna say Black Condor's my favorite. And I'm gonna put this on S tier. There's nothing more to say about this, but eat steak, cool guy! Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger. This is where it all started. Technically it was Power Rangers, but this is where my love started. They replaced the V's with diamonds, and continued the head molding, this time with dinosaurs. As a kid, when I watched Power Rangers, I wondered why the green and red Rangers had similar helmets. In Power Rangers, they were best friends, but in Zyuranger, they were actually brothers. But I don't want to get into that because it gets really twisty-turvy and kind of convoluted if you're not paying attention. I like how the helmets have like small details, like the yellow and black Rangers having tusks lining their visors, and the red and green Rangers having teeth lining theirs. The blue Ranger's visor makes it look like he's wearing sunglasses, but I really like the pink Ranger's helmet. It's white, but with a pink pterodactyl wrapping around the helmet. Now this is where it gets heavy. Bry, the green Dragon Ranger. How could you look at him and not think he's cool? He's one of the first of many 6 Rangers, and what a way to start. He has that cool chest shield, and a dagger that doubles as a flute. Going back to Power Rangers, you can see why this suit is so iconic. It just grabs you. Next video I'll get into the mechas, because I have some mecha theory on this one. But for now, my favorite Ranger is the Yellow Ranger, and I'll put this in A tier. Gosei Sentai Dai Ranger. Dai Ranger is a Chinese martial arts Sentai, where they harness the power of mythological creatures. Their suits look like martial arts gi. The badge on their chests have stars on them because Gosei translates to 5 stars. Continuing with this trend of the 6th Ranger, we have the White Kiba Ranger, who has a black and gold chest shield. These suits look so cool. Just want to be them, especially when they do all their martial arts. During the ad break, they have eye catches, and you should see the way that they spin around their bow staffs. They're just really smooth with it. My favorite Ranger is the Kiba White Ranger, and I'll give this an S ranking. Just all in all, good stuff. Ninja Sentai Kaku Ranger. The theme is pretty self-explanatory. This is a great example of less is more. Throw in some V's, some triangles, a couple of squiggly lines, and a headband. They're ninjas, that's all you need. You can also see how Power Rangers got aliens out of the Kaku Rangers suits. They're very round and smooth. My favorite Ranger is the White Ranger, and I give this a B ranking. Chorik Sentai O Ranger. We have more geometric shapes! We got all your favorites. Triangle, circle, squares. We also have the motherfucking Starboy. Look what you done! This Sentai is a militaristic one with a small dash of cosmic powers. You can see from the chest design that they have like this wiring look, but it also looks like hieroglyphics. I like there's a white neck to the costume that kind of breaks up the coloring. Their weapons also match their helmet shapes. But my favorite is the King Ranger. King is right, because this is some king shit. Jet black suit with golden accessories, big old gold chest shield. You just can't go wrong with this. His weapon is called the King Stick. Of course my favorite Ranger is the King Ranger. And I'm gonna put this bitch in A. Gekiso Sentai Car Ranger. We have another car themed Sentai, but this time they improved on the suits. Not by much, but it's something. They kind of mimic racing suits, but besides that, nothing really has changed, except for 2 other Rangers. They have a 6th Ranger, but they also have an Extra Ranger. Extra Rangers aren't a part of the main 6, but on occasions they appear. First, let's focus on Signal Man. Signal Man is basically Super Sentai RoboCop, but without the hyper-violence, and the commentary on consumerism. The 2nd Ranger is known as VRV Master. He looks like a space bounty hunter, but is not. I'm not gonna spoil who he is, but he is linked to someone special. Oh god, what the fuck's that thing? Oh crap, and there's 2 of them! Why is he wearing Michael Jordan's jersey? Did he steal Michael Jordan's talent? What year did this come out? 1996? That bastard! Where are you hiding, Jordan, you son of a bitch?
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
There's also a White Ranger, but she doesn't count. She's not really a part of the team, and for spoiler reasons, I'm not going to get into it. But she is related to a different character that... Oh. Yeah. Mmm. Ah, Jesus Christ! Stop! Stop! You know what? Fine. Signal Man is my favorite, and I'll put this in a D spot. Sick of these ugly ass aliens. Denji Sentai, Mega Ranger. This is a technology-based Sentai. They even have teenagers with attitude. The Red Ranger got his powers Last Starfighter style, by having mad gaming skills. These uniforms are all too uniform. The only differences are the colors. Except for a small difference in the helmets. They have a small light-up display above their visors, and they show off bits of technology. PC, a satellite, a digital camera, cell phone, TV, and a microchip. Here's proof that I'm a little bit slow. When I was a kid, I thought, why did they have an envelope on their belt buckle? Then when I was older, I saw it, I'm like, this is probably a stylized M. Then I realized that it was an email envelope. They also have evil doppelganger rangers, called the Nezzy Rangers. These guys look so cool. They're like a team of cybernetic vampires. So my favorite's gonna be Nezzy Red, and I'm gonna give this team a C. I can't complain, they look alright, but they're a little bit too samey. Saiju Sentai Ginga Man. You're a Power Ranger, Charlie Brown! Okay, get this. This is supposed to be a Forest Guardian Sentai, and they fight space pirates. So why is the show called Ginga Man? Ginga means universe. Are they fighting for the universe or the forest? Well, from what I've read, this season was supposed to be called Gal Ranger. But there was actually an anime coming out at the same time called Gal Geiger. I guess the producers felt like there was going to be a lawsuit coming, so they just changed it to Ginga Man. But they pocketed Gal Ranger for later. The helmets look cool, but the top looks weird. The zigzag pattern makes it look like Charlie Brown's shirt. It's a common critique in the community, and I'm not a fan of the big white square. It just breaks everything up in a bad way. I like Bull Black. He's like an intergalactic matador. So I guess my favorite ranger out of a lot of them is Bull Black. And I'm gonna put this in D. It's just a very boring look. Oh well, moving on. QQ Sentai, Go-Go 5! You know, I can go on forever about Go-Go 5 and the mechs and the story and everything. But this is about the suits. Sadly, the suits don't really look too good. The only thing going for it is the helmet, but not because of style, but actually for functionality. Go-Go 5 is about a family of first responders. So the cool thing is the helmets have respirators in them. But that's where the fun stops. The rest of the uniform just looks like nana candy. You know, the striped peppermints. I guess if you're trying to be a first responder, you'd prefer function over style. I guess my favorite ranger is the Pink Ranger. I'll put this in B tier. For function over style. Mirai Sentai Time Rangers. We're breaking into the 2000s with a time-traveling police drama. You could tell that it's a time-traveling police drama by all of the clock hands. Clock hands on the helmets, clock hands on the chest, clock hands as weapons. But this time we have 2 Red Rangers. But without going into spoilers, there's a narrative reason why there's 2 Red Rangers. When they were younger, Time Red and Time Fire were school friends, but they split off, both wanting power, but both wanting different ways of getting it. That's why Time Red has white accents and Time Fire has black. I really like these suits. My favorite is Time Fire, and I'll give this one an A. Hakyuju Sentai Gal Ranger. This was the animal Sentai that they wanted in the 90s, but instead we got it in 2001. You know the deal by now. Animals on the helmet, gold numbered sashes, and they have a silver wolf ranger. They have their animals as chest logos, which brings me to my favorite part of the season. When they're in their civvies, they have baseball jackets, but with their animals as their team mascots. These are really cool, and I actually want one. Gal White has pink accents on her helmet, which brings me to something that really irks me about Super Sentai. How come in animal-themed Sentai, there's always a lion and a different cat? Ranger had a tiger and a lion, Ginga Man had a wild cat and a lion, and this one has a lion and a tiger. I get it, the lion being the king of the jungle, but there are other animals out there. And it doesn't stop with this season either. Either way, my favorite is Gal Wolf, and I'll put this in high B tier. Nippon Sentai Hurricane. Nearly 10 years after the last Ninja Sentai in Kaku Ranger, we got a new one. This time the team starts off with red, yellow, and blue. Then later on they'll get crimson red, navy blue, and green. What I find interesting is if you look back, Sun Vulcan and Liveman have similar setups. A bird, a cat, and marine life. But this time instead of a bull and a rhino, we have 2 beetles and a bird helicopter. Because nothing says stealthy ninja like a bird helicopter. I like the Bug Rangers, also known as the Go Rangers. They're continuing on with the 2 Red Rangers, but adding an extra Blue Ranger. The Green Ranger is the mysterious Shinkenja. He's a faceless ninja that can take form of any person. Fun fact, the people that he takes form of are mostly older Sentai actors. One of the actors played Matoi, the Red Ranger from Go-Go 5. Shurikenja brings back the Barai fit, with golden shoulder pads, and a super mode where he takes off the shoulder pads and spins his helmet around. My favorites are between the navy blue or the Shurikenja, and I'll put this in A slot. Bakyu Sentai Aba Ranger. Just like last season, we are back with our second dinosaur season, with Aba Ranger. We are also back with the 3-team setup, and then introducing 2 other rangers. But what is unique about this one is, it's a 4-team setup. The 5th ranger is a morally grey character. He's an evil ranger, but he'll team up with the others if it's necessary. In one episode they had a pink ranger, but she doesn't count. My favorite is the white ranger, and I'll put this in A. Takasu Sentai Deka Ranger. Another future police team from the distant year of 2025. This team has 10 rangers. 10! 6 rangers, 2 extra rangers, 1 single episode appearance, and 1 movie exclusive. They have big numbers on their chests, some of them Roman numerals. Deca Master having 100 on his chest for mowing down 100 foot soldiers all by himself. Deca Swan is a good design, but in Power Rangers they called her a cat, which makes sense considering that Deca Master is a dog and you have a cat as a second in command. But I like Swan better. It's hard to make a favorite out of all these suits because they all go hard as hell. Then I'll have to go with Deca Master, and I'll give these suits an S ranking. Maho Sentai Magi Ranger. Magi Ranger is a season about a family of magicians. The helmet visors are designed after their mythical creatures. Again, we have capes. Scarves and capes really make the outfit look cool, as we've seen in other teams. I like the extra rangers. You have Magi Shine, who has the gold and navy blue color scheme, which I really like. Then Magi Mother, who has this Ice Queen look to her. And Woolzard, who has a Royal Knight design. And Woolzard comes in 2 different flavors, strawberry and grape. The 5 rangers get legend forms, which gives them white chest plates and helmets with more pronounced features. All in all, these are really slick costumes, and I like them a lot. My favorite is Magi Shine. I'll put this in A tier. Go-Go Sentai Bokanger. Bokanger is like Indiana Jones, if they were Power Rangers, and is the 30th entry of the Super Sentai series. And they have a vehicle theme, which is usually a mixed bag. There's a lot of chrome, and a white stripe down the middle with a compass, which is their logo, and their colours on their sides. The suits are alright. The suits do make me want to watch the season, I just haven't gotten around to it. My favourite is the Black Ranger, and I'll give this a B. Jukin Sentai Geki Ranger. We finally get another Kung Fu season. This time with furries. In the show, their headquarters is basically a Nike shop with a dojo in it. So their uniforms kind of look like sportswear, especially with their logo. It looks like a Nike swish, but 3 of them like a cat's claw. We are back at it again with the Evil Rangers, this time with Rio and Melee, who are the Black Lion and the Green Chameleon. There's a Purple Ranger in the Core 5, which you know that I love, and he has a Muay Thai kickboxing style. The White Rhino Ranger has a karate style, which shows off in his suit, looking like a karate gi. The 3 Cat Rangers get a Master Mode, which makes their suits completely white with their colors as detailing, and jetpacks. These suits are really sick, and they make me want to do karate in the basement. Purple Ranger's my favorite because I love purple, and I'll give this an A. Engine Sentai Go Onja. This is another car season. This time with animal cars, with big googly anime eyes. We have 7 Rangers, and the last 2 are gold and silver. This is another middle of the road season. My favorite is the Silver Ranger, and I'll give this a B. Samurai Sentai Shinkenja. It's a samurai season, if you didn't get it from the title. These suits are great. They really look like samurai garb. And the black pants, breaking up all the colors, is a good choice. The Gold Ranger has gold and blue color scheme again, which I really like. They have Japanese symbols on their helmets, and it's very simple yet effective. My favorite is the Blue Ranger, and I'll give this an A ranking. Tensou Sentai Go Saija. I'm not sure what to make of these suits, they're kind of bland. They're supposed to be angels, but the only representation in that is the wing design on their chest. They have a cool robot lion friend, but that's basically it. I haven't seen this season, and by the looks of their suits, I really don't want to. Let's just say my favorite's the Red Ranger, just to say that it is. And I'm gonna put this in D. Kaizoku Sentai Go Kaija. Now these are suits. They're space pirates. They look like pirates. That's what you get. And if you don't like these suits, they can change into the last 34 suits. Because this is an anniversary special, which they use magical keys to turn into other Sentais. Let's focus on the base form. They have black spandex, with a coat in their designated color, and their helmets look like pirate hats. Except for the Silver Ranger, who has a bandana. They look so fresh and so clean, and they have the attitude to back it up. My favorite is the Yellow Ranger, and I'm gonna put this in S tier. Tokome Sentai Go Buster. These are spies. They look like spies, they have cool motorcycle jackets, and they look alright. I've never seen the season, but for some reason I have never wanted to watch the season. I just have this mental block. At first I thought they brought back Metal Hero, which is a different kind of tokusatsu. But it wasn't, it was Super Sentai. But to be fair, my favorite one would be Red Ranger. And I'll put this in C tier for can't complain. Juden Sentai Kyoryuger. I swear to God, that was the first take. I could never get Kyoryuger right. See, Kyoryuger. This is our 3rd dinosaur season, with 10 Rangers. This franchise is going to give me an aneurysm. Luckily all the suits are kind of uniform, so I don't have to go into deep detail. All you have to know is the dinosaur-shaped helmets, with teeth decals, a lot of triangles, cool sash. But this weird mouthpiece right in the middle of the visor. I'm not quite sure what that's supposed to be. It might be a tongue, because the whole helmet has like this mouth kind of thing, like an open mouth dinosaur. But that's all I can gather from it. I don't even know why they needed 10 Rangers in the first place. Only 7 of them have like a routine appearance. All the other ones just appear, disappear, then reappear when they need to be useful. My favorite is a Gold Ranger, and I'll put this in B tier. Before I continue, I'd like to mention an unofficial series. Hikanen Sentai Akiba Ranger. This is a parody Sentai, where three nerds stumble upon magical powers, and they go through all the tropes of Super Sentai. I'm gonna make this quick. The helmets have hair designs, the girls look like they have sports bras on their costumes. The Red Ranger also has a waifu super mode. My favorite is Red Ranger, and I'm gonna put this in a C class. But this is an unofficial ranking. Resha Sentai Tokuja. It's a train Sentai. You know this because there's train tracks around the helmet, covering up the visor. Why would you do that? How could you see through that shit? The rest of the suit lacks imagination too, which is ironic because this season's all about imagination. All they have is a crossing sign with their designated number on it. At least there's an orange ranger. We barely have that. Favorite ranger's blue, and I'm gonna put this in F tier. Shuriken Sentai Ninja. They have a cool black sash over their costume, shurikens all over their body. They even have a cool American cowboy with a burger phone and a guitar sword. I don't really need to say more. It seems like the Ninja Sentais usually have good and solid designs. My favorite is the White Ranger, and I'll put this in B tier. Dobotsu Sentai Gyuoja. Now back to Furry Force on Fox Kids. I like this season, but if we're only looking at the suits, these are really lazy. They look like Halloween smock costumes you get from Target, with a black JPEG of the animal on their chest, like covering the whole chest. The helmets are alright, but the rest of it is just dog water. My theory is they spent all their money on fursuits and spent the rest of the cash on the givvies. I at least like the whale suit. That looks okay. The rest are just nothing. My favorite is the White Ranger, and I'm gonna put this in F tier. Uchu Sentai Q Ranger. Now for one of my favorite seasons. This is a space season with 12 rangers. Too many cook style. We have a Wolfman. We got a dragon. We got a robot. We have 2 robots. No, we have 3 robots. We have a 5th grader. We have the luckiest man in the galaxy. And the rest. But for real, this is my favorite team. And they all have, like, their unique kind of quirks to their suits. Like how I mentioned before, Okami Blue. Okami Blue is a wolfman, so he has fur on his arms. And Raptor, who's washy pink, she has bird wings on the back of her suit. And look at Ryu Commander. He looks so fly in his suit. Look at him. Purple trench coat. He even has that Saints Row 2 Pimp Cane shotgun. You know damn well that he runs that place. And let's not forget Shishi Red Orion mode, where he gets an all-white costume and can harness the power of every weapon through portals, endgame style. Not only does he have a cape, he has 2 capes! I don't care if I sound biased or nothing, but this is high up there. My favorite ranger is Sasori Orange, and I'm gonna put this in S tier. Kaito Sentai Lupin Ranger versus Keisetsu Sentai Pat Ranger. Who wants to play cops and robbers? This is a unique season where we have 2 sets of teams facing against each other. 3 cops and 3 thieves and a double agent. Out of the 2 teams, I like the Lupin team a lot better. The helmets have top hats, they got capes, and their suits have this tuxedo look. The Pat Rangers have like this police uniform look with ties, and their helmets have police hats. The double agent, I'm just gonna call him Ranger X, has either a gold or silver coat and whatever matching helmet that goes with it. It's a cool concept with cool costumes. My favorite is Lupin X, and I'm gonna give this a B ranking. Kishiryu Sentai Rio Soldier. Open the door, get on the floor, yet another season of dinosaurs. This is a team of ancient royal knights, powered by dinosaurs. That's practically it. They have zigzags pointing downwards, and their helmets look kind of cool. Besides that intro, I have nothing else to say about it. Gold's my favorite, although I'm starting to get really sick of the gold and blue color scheme. And I'll put this in B. Mashin Sentai Kira Major. I have a question. Why is the season so bright and sparkly and disorienting? Everything's reflective, even the backgrounds. It's overstimulating. I don't like it. The suits are covered in glitter. I can kind of see what they're trying to get out of it, because they're powered by crystals and imagination. I like the blue and green Rangers, and they got their post game down pat. The man at the control center is the pen pineapple apple pen guy, Daimao Kosaka, or however you say his name. Again, I'm Australian. I can barely talk English, let alone Japanese names. There is an episode where he legit saved the day by singing the pen pineapple apple pen song. This season is way too overstimulating and it kind of gives me a headache. So my favorite ranger is the Green Ranger, and I'm going to put this in B. Kikai Sentai Zenkaija. This is another anniversary special for the 45th anniversary. But this time, instead of people in spandex, we have robots. Each robot represents a Sentai theme. You have dinosaurs, animals, magic, and vehicles. Through their Kikinoid form, you can really see how they represent both the season themes and the character archetypes, like the born leader, the wild second, the heavy-set nerd, and the one kind-hearted girl character. What? Don't look at me. I'm not the one who made these tropes. The human rangers are really cool. It's been a while, but we actually got a white leader again, mimicking both Go-Ranger and Jack. We also have a gold ranger who looks like Go-Kaija. His name is Tukaiser. There's also Tukai Flint. I think she's a stage show exclusive ranger. She still looks pretty cool though. My favorites are between Tukai Flint or Majin, the Pink Ranger. And I'll put this in a solid B tier. Avataro Sentai Don Brothers. This team is wacky as hell. I had to stop 10 minutes in because I couldn't pay attention to it anymore. It's kind of the problem of early 2020 Super Sentai. It's just way too overstimulating and loud and confusing. What's even more confusing is that we have a Long Boy and a Sonic OC on this team. We also have a first male Pink Ranger, which is kind of cool that they have a male Pink Ranger. We don't really get those. I like the season, but it's too off the wall for me. I couldn't pay attention. My favorite is Don Torbolt, and I'm gonna put this in C tier. Osama Sentai King Oja. This is where we get into some king shit. 5 countries, headed by 5 different King Rangers, all of them bug-themed. First time we get a bug-themed team, and they all look so freaking cool. Their suits are armor-plated, looking like exoskeletons, and they have capes. The White Ranger looking like Anti-Venom, swinging around like Spider-Man. He has a bug spray gun. And plus there's a Purple Ranger as the cool member of the team. There's also a Silver Ranger, but I don't want to get into it without getting into spoilers. My favorite Ranger is the Purple Ranger, and I'm going to put this in S tier. Bakuage Sentai Bumbunja. And here we are. Current day season of Super Sentai Bumbunja. This is a car Sentai, but they finally did it. Their ranger suits actually look like racing suits. Their belt buckles are seatbelt buckles. Their helmets have rims. Alright, that's a strange part of it, but yeah, look at them. They actually look unique. They have a speedometer on their chest. And the 6th Ranger has a yellow and purple scheme out here with their Lakers fit. I haven't watched the season yet, but I'm really digging the vibes. I'm not sure about the black and orange Rangers having a single shoulder pad, but one's a construction worker and one's a policeman, so it kind of makes sense. I'm excited for the season. My favorite is the Purple Ranger because, duh. I'm going to put this in A tier. And there we have it. 48 teams. 49 if you include the unofficial team. I spent over 40 minutes reviewing all of them. Don't tell me I don't like Super Sentai. And if you like Super Sentai, why don't you drop down your favorite suits in the comments below. I'm Harvey88H, And I am tired. I guess the only thing I could say now is, eat steak, you cool guys.